Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and I am here to show you a technique. Actually, this is a great card. We made it in our class last night. It actually is called a shutter card, or can also be called a fractured card, this technique. And there are a couple things that are important. I'm going to go through the technique and we're going to make one together here. I do want to give you some pointers. This color here has to be the same color as your background. So if you make a true shattered card, you would have to cut these angles and it would be challenging, right? To cut those angles straight. This card is so much easier than that. This is kind of a faux shutter because it's so simple to do. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But it is important to use the color that continues then and bleeds off into the margin. When I originally made this, I did it with gold and it was beautiful, but I would have needed to put a gold panel under here, and I just don't have that much gold because I taught it in a class and we had lots of people, and we made 4 of these cards each, so that would have been a lot of gold paper. So this works, and I pop it with a little accent of gold, and we're good to go. I'm going to show you what I used first, and then we'll get started. The paper, I used just a basic white paper. So this is basic white, and this is cherry cobbler, so you know where I'm going here. This is the other paper. I'm going to need that little piece there. This is the other paper that I used. I know, is it blinding you? It's very shiny. It's a specialty paper. There are 8 sheets, which is kind of weird for us. 8 12 by 12 sheets, 2 of each pattern, and they're blank on the back, which is also strange. Normally our papers are double-sided, but this one, because of its specialty nature and all metallics, for holidays, it is not double-sided. So I hope you enjoy it. I have used, as you can see, a lot of these. And if you look back through my history here of my YouTube videos that I've made, you will see some of those that you recognize. All right. So, oh, I didn't tell you what it was called. It's called Joyous, I believe. Lots of joy in this catalog, and so I get them confused, but I will list it below, I promise. Okay, so let's get started. What I did was I started with a panel. So I did want this to be a little wider than a normal panel. So this sum total white, instead of being 4 by 5 1/4, which would be a normal panel size, it is actually 3 3/4 by 5. And by doing that, I leave a wider border around here, and it needs to be 1/4 of an inch border around the whole edge so that this line continues and looks fractured all the way around. Okay. The next thing that I did, this is just a 2-inch square of paper. Now, a lot of people in their technique, they will use a die and cut this out and then put something in there, but you don't have to do that. You can do this the easy way. I'm just going to set it. You can use your grid paper if you're kind of maybe possibly a little neurotic like me, but you don't have to. And then if you do, you can kind of line up the lines there to be straight, but it really doesn't have to be. The most important thing of this whole thing is that when I place a piece of paper here like this, we're just going to lay it here so I can see, I will still be able to fit a stamp here, and I will, so that looks like it's about right. Once you get this diamond where you want it, and it should be a little bit, it should be high and a little bit further to the left. And by doing that, it gives you this bigger piece here, and that's where you can put your sentiment. But since I've already got it kind of where I want it placed, the best thing to do is just put your thumb on it, lift a corner, squeeze a little dotted glue, lift the bottom, squeeze a little dotted glue, and then make sure you've got it straight the way you want it. That looks pretty good. I'm good with that. So it doesn't have to be, it's completely eyeballed, as you saw. It's not measured. I didn't do anything like that. It might be a little bit far over, but it's not going to matter. All right, so here comes the real technique. I should have left that open. Here comes the real technique. What is important here is that you always work in a circle. Okay, I'm going to work completely in a circle here to make it look real. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue, a super thin bead of glue. Sorry, I'm not very coordinated right now, but I'm working on it. I'm going to set that down for a second. Before I do that, I'm going to stamp. I should have done that before I glued my paper on. That way, if I have a horrible stamping situation, I don't have to try and pull that paper off, and I haven't wasted it if I have to flip my paper over. So, should have a mat under this too, but we're going to just wing it. I'm going to stamp this right about here. 1, 2, 3, lift, and cross my fingers. Ah! Okay, if you do this, because I didn't put that much glue on here, I'm going to be able to just pop it off. Oh, won't matter that it's ripped. That's going to be glued to the back. And I'm going to do this again. All right, starting fresh. I'm going to center this about where I would want it. So this glue, that's the beauty of this glue. It is a multi-purpose mono glue. And the way that it's multi is not just the two tips. It is, when it's liquid, when it's wet, it's a permanent hold. When it's dry, like this is going to dry out that I put glue on over here, that's just going to become tacky. And it's going to stay tacky forever unless I add a little more glue. All right, so I'm just going to set this down again. We're starting from scratch, guys. Sorry about that. I'm going to make sure by using another piece here that my stamp will fit there. And then I'm going to try and stamp again. And I am going to put the mat in. My hand is very wobbly, so I need all hands on deck, so to speak. All right, if we were to put that there and we were to put that there, would I be able to fit my stamp there? Yes, okay. All right, take 2. All right, so now you see how we really repair stuff. Kids, absolutely try this at home. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Much better. Okay, now we can glue everything down. I'm going to just go for it. I'm going to pull this little fringes off. Because this paper is kind of thick, it won't matter that that's like that. If it had been a thin paper, you would have been able to see that area under there, but you're not going to be able to tell that I made a mistake. I make a lot of mistakes. So if you guys make mistakes too, then you're my people. Okay. So I'm going to go a little north, a little bit west. Maybe that's a little too west. No, that's good. Okay, good. Now, I'm going to add a little more glue to this. This is what I was talking about. Where it's white still, it is liquid, and it would be a permanent hold. But this is just like a Post-it note, and it will be forever and ever. So I don't want it to be a Post-it note. I want it to be a permanent hold. So I am going to add a little extra glue. For all those who took my class last night and maybe made a mistake, now you see. Okay, so I am going to follow this line right here and match up the end of my cherry cobbler right up against that end and butt it up there. And go and let it hang all the way off the end like that. Okay. This strip, by the way, you can use your scraps. This is 1/4 inch. If you want to be consistent, use 1/4 inch every time. If you don't care if it's the same, it's also really cool looking if they don't match. Okay, so I'm going to add some glue here. And then again, I am going to just go in a circle. So now I'm going to butt it up against this cherry cobbler and that colorful, beautiful square and let it hang right off the paper. Okay, I just want to make sure that there's no daylight between those. I am the least coordinated person right now. Pushed it together. Okay, if you have a little gap like that, don't worry. That's what the cherry cobbler marker is for. We actually used that trick a little bit last night. Okay, and now I'm going to continue working my way in a circle. So this is another scrap. All you have to do is cut a straight edge on that. Let's see if that's straight enough. Not really. Not really straight enough. If you have a trimmer, best done by a trimmer, okay? But if you don't, you can eyeball a straight line. See, that works. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this baby, and I'm just working in a circle. For one card, you don't need to get 4 card lengths of this scrap. Really, you can do it. I'm gonna put that. So I'm butting it up against this, and I'm putting it along the line of this and letting it run off. And now I need one more noodle. I call these noodles. So I'm just going to flip it over to the boo-boo side where I can easily see the edge of my paper. And I'm going to badly cut that off. So when I had my other cast and it was over my thumb also, it was hilarious. First of all, I was the Fonz. My thumb was straight up and down. And I had to learn how to cut like this because this thumb was straight up. So I had to cut like this. I got very coordinated with my right hand like that. and I had to do everything else with my left hand. So most everything I can do. I can write with my left hand. I can brush my teeth. I can comb my hair. I can do all the necessities. I even learned this time to use chopsticks with my left hand. So that was interesting and messy, but I got it done. Okay, so now I'm going to continue the circle. So this was 1, 2, 3. Here's 4. So anyway, so my writing with my left hand is actually pretty good. It's not horrible. I mean, it's not significantly worse than my right hand. The problem is it's backwards. So when I write, it is exactly the same thing, but it's like mirror writing. So I don't know where I got that. I'm thinking that I could probably earn a drink in a bar with it, but I'm not sure how I would use it otherwise. Okay, it's kind of a Leonardo thing, so maybe that will be my new nickname. That would be flattering. Okay, so I'm just trimming these extra pieces off. You will do a much better job because probably you will wear your glasses, unlike me, and you will take your time. Okay, so now I just need to put that on a cherry cobbler base. This is my base here. This is just a standard base, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half, which leaves me 5.5 by 4.25. And I should use this to give it a firm thing, you know. And then I'm going to put glue on the boo-boo side, and nobody's going to know, and you are not going to tell them that I made that mistake back there on the ugly side. Okay, looks good. So remember, stamp before you glue. That's super vital. All right, and now I'm going to just top it off with one of these festive pearls. We only need one. It has 3 different colors, which are, 4 different colors, which are actually really cool. So there's the red, and then this one has almost a bluish silver tint, and then this is like shiny metallic silver, and then shiny metallic gold. And we're just going to stick one right there, and this card is done. It is simple to look at. It's a simple card, but it's also kind of stunning. It's got something just a little different. You will not see anything like this at Hallmark, so be sure that you try this technique. All right, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing me make a couple of mistakes and show you how to fix them. Have a great day. Stop back and see us. And one more card this holiday season, so be watching for videos. Be sure you subscribe because then you won't miss one of these videos in the future. Have a great day. Bye-bye.